Yeah, hi everybody. Yeah, I'm Everlasting. Yeah, and this is the second session of the Alchemist Youth Council meeting. And today's subject is going to be black leadership and what their roles are in regard to it. We got to understand that we had a lot of leadership over the last few centuries that gave us hope, inspiration, led us in the direction that we eventually became as far as today. But there's obviously something missing today that wasn't there during the 60s, during the 20s, during the late 1800s even, that is missing. So what we're going to do now is try to find out exactly what those things are that are missing and see if they can be recreated today, and even if those things that can be recreated, see if they can work today. Alright y'all, here's the question. I know you see the names of the guys up there, right? I don't expect y'all to even know half of these guys, alright? But the two most prominent ones, of course, are the two big pictures, right? Now, who's that? You was about to say Malcolm X. And who's this?
Malcolm X.
Okay, otherwise known as El Haj, El Shabazz, right?
El Shabazz.
El
School right there.
Oh!
No, that's what I was saying. Wait, that's what I told you, right?
Yeah, anyway, right? Are y'all familiar with their two styles of leadership?
Not
Yes,
really.
I am.
Not really Malcolm X.
Alright, there you go. Malcolm X.
Malcolm X was more of a like a affirmative leader. Like he was like, all right, basically on some, all right, we're gonna go to war type of thing if we have to, right?
Like affirmative action?
And then
Affirmative action?
I said like affirmative action?
No.
that
has nothing to do with
Not even close.
yeah, but then Martin Luther King was more of a pacifist, like all right,
I didn't ask you about my
you said
I said Malcolm X.
you said there too.
Yeah, but I pointed to Malcolm X.
Nah, you know, like how, like you know, like he tried, like he's a leader, and like somebody, you know, that's the leader, and like he would take action.
Word.
Like somebody like, all right, look, we got to go, we got to ride. Look, this whole thing is like, okay, if we're being like, if he feels there's an injustice, unlike someone such as Martin Luther King, Malcolm X will be like, okay, we're not gonna sit here and just take this. We gotta go to war.
Yeah,
Like, cause, like that's necessary.
Malcolm X is basically more action than words. Martin Luther King is more words than action.
yeah. Was this something?
He's a sit at home.
I wouldn't
say that.
Sit at home. Like a stay-at-home mom.
That's what you do.
But this does do Malcolm X and Martin Luther King is like that. Malcolm X, like he like, you know, like he like just like go to war or something, and what?
Yo, man, I'm trying to follow you. You animated, man. Go ahead.
And Martin Luther King, he was talking about that. Martin Luther King, he just wanted to be, you know, at peace with like everybody, you know, like he just like living in peace and just wanted to like everybody just get along. Yeah.
Okay.
Everybody just get along.
I don't know.
So everybody says that he's the pacifist
Yes.
and he's the aggressor,
Yes.
right? So now, given today's climate, right? If you had to choose one of these individuals, which one would you side with?
Malcolm X.
I don't know Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
You with Martin?
Yeah, wait, what?
Malcolm X. All right, switch sides. So go to the side of the guy that you
I'm already on this side.
So now look, you got Malcolm X. Malcolm X, you only pick Malcolm X because that's his name.
No. You know that.
Malcolm.
Martin.
Martin. Okay. Martin. Malcolm.
Oh, based on the person we are?
Malcolm X was very local. Very local. Malcolm X was all over the East Coast. A lot of people didn't even know who Malcolm X was in the West Coast. You
Did he
understand?
go to Africa and wasn't he doing like like speeches in Africa?
Yeah, but that was after. That was after. You know what I'm saying? That was a while after. But when he was actually in the movement, he was here. He was in New York. He was in Harlem. He was in Harlem. He was in Brooklyn. You know, that's where his base of operation was, because that's where the base of operation was for the Nation of Islam, and that's that's his foundation.
Seems like that's where the trouble was.
No, not necessarily. Not necessarily the trouble, because there was trouble everywhere. There was trouble all through the South.
So you're trying to spread his
There was
message.
trouble in Chicago where he was from. I'm sorry, in Detroit where he was from. You understand?
So you're trying to spread his message to the places where he would have the most support.
Well, not necessarily that, because again, he was here. You understand? We're talking about the 60s. Not everybody in the 60s had a television in their home. You understand? The television was a relatively new invention, and not everybody had TV. You understand? There was probably, I don't even know the statistic, but I'm just going to assume there was probably 3 out of 10 homes had television in them.
How do you earn it?
Huh?
How do you earn the name?
Well, his name was Malcolm Blue at first. But the X came when he joined the Nation of Islam, and one of the prerequisites was to drop your last name because they called it a slave name. Like your last name is Riley, that would be your slave name. There is no African named Riley. Anyway, so now let's look at Martin Luther King, right?
Junior.
You said pacifist, right? Pacifist,
Yeah.
pacifist. Like you just chill, don't hit me.
No, I ain't mean something.
Nah, it was more like he was like, yo, alright, let's not resort to violence. Let's you know what?
Let's get punched in the
Silent aggression. Let's join together instead of fighting.
I don't gotta get punched in my face by myself.
Does that mean something?
We all get punched in the face.
Basically.
Right.
No, he's gonna say, alright, the person that's punching me in my face, yo, don't hit me. Come, let's beat it. We can talk about it.
Join me and we come up this together.
Right.
But then what would we fighting against?
Yeah, exactly.
We fight.
Anyway, look, I'm gonna give you a little insight. Now, here's the thing. A lot of people say, like I talked to a few of my homeboys and said, yo, Malcolm X, he sold us out. He got us smacked the other cheek and all of this. And listen, let me explain something to you. I'm gonna give you a little lesson about bullying, right? How many people in this room have been bullied before? Raise your hand. I've been bullied before, right? How many people in this room have been the bully? I have been the bully. All right? So I know both sides of that, all right? So now, here's the thing. One thing that I learned over the course of my years, when it came down to being a bully, either getting bullied or being a bully, is that there's always somebody bigger than the bully.
Yeah, that's true.
Right?
Yeah.
The bully act tough until the real bully show up. Right? Acts like a bully until they run into another bully. Right? So now here's the thing. If you are having trouble with a dude that's a bully, you need to go find somebody and make a good friend with a dude that the bully is scared of. Now, I'm going to show you something about American politics. Let me show you something. All right, think about American politics. Remember last week when I told y'all about
Policy.
this? Right? And it comes from
Policy.
this, right?
You say pirates.
Right? Remember I told y'all about that? Right? You cannot have this without that. Alright? I'm going to say it one more time. You cannot have this without that. Alright? So now, if you got a policy that says, yo, beat them, sick the dogs on them, hit them with the board cannon, strip them, do whatever you got to do. Right? Y'all laugh, but this, look, you don't want to get hit with a board cannon.
So basically,
Trust
like,
me.
what is it? Basically, like a
Board
higher
cannon?
bar.
Fire hose.
It's like a fire hose.
Huh?
Crush them.
Now what you said?
Basically, like they got to answer to like a higher authority.
Right, pretty much there are things that are said, hey, go do this. Don't worry about the consequences. Go do this. And they go out and do it.
They don't have to worry about the consequences. Because the policy runs.
They are.
Because they are the ones that control the policy. They are the ones that, not control, but they're the ones that enact the policy. You understand? So now, here's the thing. If you lived in the 50s and the 60s, right? And you had police jumping on you and sicking the dogs on you and doing all this stuff like that, right? If you see it from the outside looking in, and you see people get the dog sick on them, you say, man, that's crazy, man. Yo, why is it the dogs on the people, man? That's sick. And then let's say you see people fighting back with sticks and rocks and everything else, or whatever they can find, or guns, or whatever they can find, but they fighting back. What do you feel? Do you feel remorse? I mean, not remorse. Do you feel pity for the people that are getting attacked by the dogs if they're fighting back?
No. I feel pity that.
I don't feel pity.
I feel pity that they're being attacked by dogs in the first place.
Okay. But then what happens? Do you still feel pity when they say, yo man, you ain't attack me no dog, man. Hook! Prick in your face. Two hook.
I don't feel good.
Two hook.
Tomahawk.
Two. Now what you say?
I don't feel good yet.
You don't feel pity. Exactly. Look, most of the world, except for crackheads, feel no remorse for anything like that. If you think about the conflicts around the world, I know most of y'all don't watch the news, but if you look at CNN and stuff like that, and you look over, you see the conflict out across the seas and stuff like that, you see all you go to Iran, or you go to Syria or wherever, you see them, they beat the public. You see that they got the army sitting there with the guns and the cannons and the tanks and all that. They coming through or whatever. And then you see they got the police with the shields and all that. But then you see the public, the people, they got bandanas tied around their head. They got Molotov. They got Molotov cocktails. They, right? They like, what? We ain't having it. Now when we look at those images, we say, damn, it was crazy over there, boy.
It was like that in the 50s.
Right? But that's how we look at it, right?
Yeah.
But now, what happens if you see somebody sitting there, sitting on the floor, right? And then you see the police run up on, or the army or whoever, run up on them. Boom, with a nightstick. Or, I told you to get up, sit the dog on, right? Now what happens when you see that? Do you have remorse? Do you have pity? Do you have anything for that? You understand? So now you're like, yo, what's up, man? Yo, this dude is not fighting you. Why are you doing that to him? Right? So that brings a whole other image to it, right? So now let's think about it. I just told y'all about the TV. There weren't many televisions during the 60s in everybody's home. Now, because he learned about pacifism and the way it works, he learned that, listen, we don't have to fight these guys, because if we fight them, we're going to lose.
You know that Gandhi and stuff, right?
Right. Exactly. Gandhi did it with the British. You understand? So it's like, yo, we're going to lose, man. Listen, we're going to lose a lot more life by fighting than chilling. So this is what we need to do. We need to chill, be very pacifist, allow them to do a few things too. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because now the invention of the TV, like I said, it wasn't in everybody's home, but it was in the homes of the people that could make a difference.
Because they can afford the TV.
Right. So now, think about this. America's a powerful nation. Got it? Can't take that from America. Strong, boy, strong. But what is America's strength? Military?
Power. That's one of my biggest questions. Like, why is it that I think it's because we're so like innovative. You know what I mean? Like we have
Innovations.
influence. But
All right.
why is that so?
I'm gonna show you something.
We're not like the biggest. We're not the biggest country. But the biggest.
Look, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. Look, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna give it to you. There's no country in the world more diversified in its citizenry than the United States, right?
like
Right?
7% black people.
No, listen to what I'm saying. No country in the world has this many different types of people and
You got
cultures.
Spanish,
Yeah,
Right.
Asian countries.
Right. That's number one. But what makes that the strength? Trade. Trade. All right.
Taking it back like that.
What is it? I'm gonna say 13 years ago. 13 years ago, on Wednesday, I believe, Wednesday coming, a particular event happened that rocked the world.
9/11.
9/11. What were the names of those two buildings? World Trade Center. Not New York Trade Center.
Oh, I get it.
Not American Trade Center.
That's the whole.
Not even in North American Trade Center.
That's like the whole.
The World Trade Center, right?
Oh.
So that tells you that there is something involved here. Because there's no other building in the world called the World Trade Center. This is the World Trade Center. Money and resources are traded amongst different nations. America's power is built off of trade. Alright? This is why everybody wants to sell stuff to America. Everybody wants to get America to buy stuff and use stuff and all that. You understand? So, with that being known, that's where America gets its strength from. So, you got the British Empire, you got China, you got Japan, you got Russia, you got all the African nations, you got South America, you got Canada. You got all these different places, right? All these different places that do trade in America. Now, the same way that we look at, Syria and Iraq and all that, the same way that they look at us. They look at us on TV. In particular, let's say Britain. Let's say Great Britain in particular. So now you got black people fighting back. On rocks, whatever, so on and so forth. The British will be like, man, they ain't doing nothing to fight with it. Man, they need to just stop messing around and let the authorities do what they gotta do. Because that's the story. Because that's the story that's being presented to the world. You understand? That black people are just being unruly. You understand? But when you see them, we shall overcome, and get bust inside the head, we shall overcome. Now when you see that, now it's like, hold up, they don't look like they being unruly. So now that tells the people that do trade with America to say, hold up, listen, I'm gonna tell you like this, man. I like doing business with you, but I don't like what you're doing in your country.